Hey guys, my name is Jovan and welcome to my channel Rent with Jovan. I'm here in Phuket, Thailand as a part of a vacation for the next 30 days. And I just want to talk about being an Airbnb owner while also being able to travel abroad. So I know you might be wondering, okay, I've started my Airbnb. I want to break free from my 9 to 5 job. How can I achieve this freedom? Well, the first thing to note is that working for yourself and being an entrepreneur, you might see the glitz and the glamour online, but it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot more work than your 9 to 5, and you definitely have to put a lot more energy into it. There are almost no breaks in the beginning, and you have to dedicate almost all of your time to it. With a 9 to 5 job, you can clock in, do your work, clock out, go home. You don't have to think about your job until the next day. When you have your own business, there's almost no days off. At the end of the day, you're responsible for your business and succeeding at your business. So that means you have to put in every ounce of energy you have into it to make sure you don't fail. So you decided to start your Airbnb journey and you have dreams of leaving your 9 to 5. First step, of course, is starting your first Airbnb. Once you're successful with that, you kind of understand how things are running. You're able to grow and decide to pick up additional units. You can do that via purchase or rental arbitrage, as we talked about before. Whichever you decide is up to you. Once you decide to grow your portfolio, you're going to start to see similar challenges you faced during your first Airbnb, but things will get easier because you already kind of know what to expect. The only thing changes is logistics and the amount of guests you have. Now, instead of juggling with one guest responding to messages, you might have 2 guests at the same time with issues. So you have to be really attentive to your business. As you grow and scale, you'll see that it'll be more difficult to maintain attentiveness to all of your guests at the same time when it's just you as a solo operator. Once you reach a certain point, you're going to have to get a team. The best way to do this is get a team of virtual assistants. They can help you manage day-to-day tasks such as responding to guests' inquiries and messages. That alleviates a lot of pressure from you. So now you're able to focus on things that make the Airbnb money. You can focus on things on the ground, like making sure you have an adequate amount of supplies for the Airbnbs. Things that a virtual assistant cannot do. So while your virtual assistants are messaging guests and communicating with guests, you can focus on things on the ground. So at what point can you decide that you can quit your 9 to 5 and go Airbnb full time? Well, that depends on the properties you pick up and of course in your market. I would say on average, once you reach 5 to 8 Airbnbs, more than likely you'll be able to quit your 9 to 5 and go Airbnb full time. Now I know 5 to 8 Airbnbs does not sound like a lot. However, you'll start to quickly realize that when you have 5 to 8 Airbnbs, you might have 5 to 8 different guests trying to message the team, asking for things. You might need to run around and do errands. A lot of times, depending on your unit sizes and your location, these Airbnbs are going to be so demanding that you will have no choice but to quit your job. Once you reach 5 to 8 Airbnbs, you reach a weird spot where you're making enough money to sustain, but not quite enough money where you can pay out an entire team. So you're in that weird in-between space. This is where you really actually make a decision whether you want to go full-time boots on the ground or decide to hire a team but bring in less profit for yourself. It's very important that whichever you choose, you have a strong team on the ground. It doesn't have to be an employee that works directly for you, but you need a handyman, you need a HVAC/heat specialist, and you need a plumber. These 3 technicians are very important to your business as there will always be things going on with your homes, and sometimes it feels like it never ends. When you get to those 5 to 8 units, you'll truly see how much you're dependent on these 3 different technicians in order to keep your business running. When you only have one house, you don't see your problems as much. But when you have 2 houses, that's twice as many problems and so forth. So you can imagine once you reach 5 to 8, how many times a week you'll see issues with your homes and you have to send someone out to repair them. Now, let's say you have 5 Airbnbs running. You can make, depending on the house size and of course the location, anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 profit per month. So let's go in the middle with $1,500 a month. With 5 properties bringing in $1,500 a month, you're looking at $7,500 per month. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's enough money for most people in America to live off of. Of course, you do have to worry about taxes, but that's a whole different conversation. So let's just stick with the basics. So if you're bringing in $7,500 a month, and like I said before, that's profit. That means you already paid your mortgage or rent. You already paid all your utilities such as water, electric, gas, internet bills. You already paid your techs for the month for any repairs they've done. So this is $7,500 after all expenses. Now that we're making $7,500 a month, this is where you decide to try to get some of your freedom back. Because you've been doing a lot of things on the ground yourself, it's hard to be able to take a vacation or have days off. However, you can decide to pay to take some of these things off your plate. Like I said before, the first thing is virtual assistants. You can pay your virtual assistants anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month, and that can get you anywhere from one to a team of assistants. There are many different websites out there to finding virtual assistants from many different countries around the world. Once you have your virtual assistants in place, you then have to spend time to train them. This is a very important step. Not only are you training them, but you're kind of realizing that you have to train yourself as well, because you might have been just running around putting out fires all day, but with no actual standard procedures. When you start to train your virtual assistants, you're going to have to come up with an SOP, standard operating procedures. This way it gives them a step-by-step guide on how to run your business and what to do in case things go wrong. That way, instead of your virtual assistants having to call you or message you in the middle of the night or the middle of the day, they can go to their SOP and follow their instructions and handle all issues related to any of your properties. As you mentioned, if you already have a good team of boots on the ground, such as handyman, HVAC, and plumbing, you can now start to introduce the two together. So you can introduce your virtual assistants to your team and have them coordinate together without your involvement. You can now tell your virtual assistants in your SOP, hey, if property A has a plumbing issues, you can call plumber number 1. I always recommend you have a team of at least 3 plumbers, 3 HVAC specialists, and 3 handymen, just in case one is available. These are people too, and they take vacations, so they're not going to be available to you 100% of the time. Now that you have your virtual assistants and your technicians coordinated, anytime there's an issue, your virtual assistants can call your techs directly without your involvement and handle problems, and that's one less thing that you have to handle yourself. The next important step of being able to have freedom is to have a good set of cleaners. And your cleaners are more than just cleaners. They need to be your eyes on the ground. They are pretty much a manager of those properties. They're the first ones that are going to be able to realize and inform that certain items might be missing or broken in any one of your units. These housekeepers are very essential. Now we can have your cleaning staff well trained and understood that they are doing more than just cleaning. They need to be able to do inventory, spot issues, and report them immediately. So when the cleaning team is working effectively, they will communicate all issues to your virtual assistants, and then your virtual assistants can now call the proper tech to handle the problems at your property. Once again, all without your involvement. Without these groups of people, you will not be able to work remotely for your business, and you'll be running the rat race. But instead of a 9 to 5, it'll just be 24/7 for yourself. And we don't want that. We want to be owners of our company and less of operators. Along the way, you'll learn about programs and apps that will also help accelerate your growth and be able to automate certain things. For one, I use Price Labs. I've talked about it many times. I'm not sponsored by Price Labs. Price Labs is a great tool that helps price all your listings according to the algorithms. It knows the high seasons, low seasons. If there's an event in town, it can pick all of that up and adjust prices accordingly. Once you start to grow and have more than one unit, you're going to need a property management software. There are plenty of property management softwares, but the one I use is Hospitable. Hospitable allows me to manage all my different properties all in one space across multiple different platforms. We have our properties on Airbnb.com, VRBO, Booking.com, and of course, my own direct website, rentwithjovan.com. On Hospitable, we're able to see all of these as if it's one website, and we're able to message guests directly on Hospitable instead of having to go to each website to respond to guests. We can also make changes directly to the properties in one location on Hospitable, opposed to having to change each setting on each different platform. This is a must-have for any Airbnb host looking to have more than one property. Another software I use is called clearing.co. This website is for the accounting side of things. You're able to link your PMS, such as Hospitable, and also your bank accounts that you use related to your Airbnb business. And you have the ability to do monthly statements. On Clearing, they show you each booking that you have, and it gives you the exact amount that you make in income for each property. And it also deducts all your expenses for the month as well, giving you a simple and easy to use net profit for each property at the end of the month. Another great software that I use is StayFi. StayFi is a device that connects to your Wi-Fi modem in each property and enables you to capture email addresses and phone numbers of each person staying in your Airbnb. Typically, when you have an Airbnb guest or a guest on any other platform, you only collect the information of the person who booked. But with StayFi, each person now has to log in and put in their credentials before accessing the internet. This is very similar to your Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt hotels, where you have to put in your email address in order to go online. Once we have their email addresses, we have a database, and now we can push newsletters and offers directly to our guests and show them that we also have online presence, and they can save money booking with us directly instead of having to use Airbnb or any of these other platforms. StayFi is an essential part of your business if you decide you want to grow, because relying on Airbnb and all these other platforms is just not the way to go, especially in 2025, when you see that they've made changes that we've had no control over, such as the host fee increase to 15.5%. It's very important to take control of your business, and a device like StayFi helps owners like us be able to do that. Hey, if you're liking this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay informed of more content on this page. I'm always giving new tips and tricks about the Airbnb space. So, you now have all these systems in place. Does that mean you can take a trip for 30 days and not worry about the business at all? No. You're still the owner of your company, and everything still relies on you. You're not running a multi-million-dollar company as of yet, so you still have to work in your business. Even while on vacation, I'm checking up on my business and taking care of things every single day. There are no days off. The beauty of it is you don't have to work 8 hours a day. On average, I spend about 30 minutes to an hour checking up on messages, responding to issues that were presented to me, and just to stay current on what's going on in the business. That doesn't mean I have to personally get involved, but my team does update me on a daily basis, so I know at least what's going on. In theory, you can take as long as you want on your vacation, and you don't have the stress of rushing back to work when you get back. Compared to a 9-to-5 job where you might have 2 weeks off in a year, at least with this, you might be working every single day on vacation for about an hour a day, but you can take as long as you want on vacation. And that's giving you back a little bit of freedom. And I don't know about you guys, but I would rather work an hour a day and be on vacation for 30 days without any stress, compared to working a 9-to-5 job and only getting 2 weeks off once a year. That concludes the video for today. I hope you guys learned something. And if you have any suggestions or any topics you want me to talk about, please drop a comment and I'll make a video about that topic. For now, see you next time and enjoy the rest of your day.